in residence here at São Paulo, and the conference itself is like the bookend. It's the tail end of the residency. So it's an interesting way to kind of formalize what I've been up to. Yeah, I've really noticed a lot of things actually, specifically about Brazil. I mean, there's sort of an extreme fandom for local acts that you don't really see that often elsewhere, you know? I mean, if you go to an equivalent conference like, I don't know, South by Southwest or Great Escape or these kind of things, a lot of it's based upon export. It's like, how do we get people in other countries to listen? But I've really felt like with Brazil, people are excited about what's here and audiences here, you know, which I think it's really important as well, to be able to look inward and outward, you know? And also all the bands here are massive. Like, there's like, I mean, in terms of membership, you know, instead of like a solo act or a duo, there's like 7, 8 people, 9 people on stage, you know, and I've been told that's kind of influenced by the Carnival and Samba and the more, you know, network of numerous musicians working together as a whole. And it's that kind of cooperation, it's pretty special, I think, you know. It makes for a different perspective. I'm from Ireland, and I'm meeting people primarily from Brazil, right? And there's an idea that you're talking about two different cultures, but for me it's about people, you know. Your experience, for example, in Brazil is going to be different from the cameraman's experience here, you know what I mean? What you think of Brazil, it's actually unique, right? So I don't feel like I'm talking with it or I'm communicating with a country. It's more like people, you know. Same way, like I don't represent Northern Ireland or the south of Ireland in any way more than anyone else, you know. So I'm just excited for a lot of these little connections to stay human. When you visit somewhere or you have an experience, it's actually quite a small experience, right? I can only see what it's like at the moment, right? And I was told, I went to this Afropunk gig at Audio. It was like a festival, Afropunk festival, and it was incredible. There was so much great artists, Baiana System as well. I saw that gig, and I was like, wow, there's such a celebration of diversity here that doesn't exist as much, at least in Northern Ireland. And someone told me, no, this is pretty recent. This is like only in the last few years, you know? And that kind of gives you hope that if something's not always there, you can make it happen, you know? So that's something I think could be learned, you know? The kind of celebration of diversity as opposed to the turning away of diversity, right? Because I think it's always true. I was thinking about this and talking about this just a few minutes ago. Immigration, diversity, these things, to some people, they look bad up close. But from far away, after 100 years, it's always good. You always have this incredible thing that has come from immigration. It's come from a mixture of cultures. It's always a positive outcome. But the future is interesting, right? Because I think the commenting on the future creates the future, right? If someone goes, one day we're gonna have cars that drive themselves. If you predict the future, you kind of start the path of the actual future happening, right? And I think that's why it's important to have conversations about the future, because you make it real, you know? You're not predicting it, you're actually doing it. One thing I found, actually, I was thinking about just there now, I did this panel with a couple of people talking about residencies, and a lot of it's to do with kind of what I experienced here, where an organization, you know, the British Council and the PRS Foundation, are providing instances for people to use studios, for people to use certain materials. And it reminded me of maybe, you know, we've had a commercial music industry for about 100 years, 150 years of recorded music. And it's become a commercial endeavor that can be self-sustaining. But prior to that, we had courts and kings and queens commissioning composers to write music. That was the music industry before that, is to do with, what's the word I'm looking for? Benefactors, to be a beneficiary. And I kind of, there's almost a trend back to that, as we see a little bit of a downward trend over the last 10 years or 15 years of commercial music. There's actually an upward trend of non-commercial music, right? Which is music designed to come up with new ideas and something interesting and just go and make art, you know? Which I think is kind of cooler.